Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Anime Night in the Dojo. Today's featured show, Shield Hero, Season 4.
Yep, Shield Hero, Season 4, Episode 5. Welcome back to the dojo. I'm Ryu. That's Age. We're back for more Anime Night in the Dojo. And I know I'm going to say this on every freaking episode this week, including Peacemaker, because why not? We're going to be starting that this week. Came out yesterday. But I got my other channel back. I'll have a video update explaining everything that happened and what had to do with that. But we're still staying on this channel. My other channel is going to just remain my personal thing that I've had. Now that I got my channel back, I saw my creation date. July 13th of 2006. So yeah, it was almost 20 years. But I got it back, and I'll have the update video that I told everybody that I would do for that. We did our like close down the other channel, hopefully direct everybody from the other channel over here, that kind of deal. So I'm excited about that. I'm happy. Just it's nice to win one when it comes to crap like that. So anyway, as for Shield Hero, we're still in Silt Felt. Yeah. Full has to do his transformation. Yeah, I know. It just. When are we leaving? Look at the next episode title. The next episode title gives me hope, you guys. Just like the cat.
We're in full freaking white tiger cat at the moment.
Pretty much. So hopefully this is it for Silt Felt. 5 episodes is enough for me because I'm sick of doing this. I just got done talking about not being able to emote. I can't help it. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm sorry. It's boring, Huey. Yes, it's had a couple moments. It's had a little bit for the story and like lore of the freaking area here, but I just don't care. Straight up. Some people might care. Cool. I hope you guys enjoy it. I don't. Is it objectively bad? No, but it is objectively mediocre. So, anyway, hopefully we'll get a little bit more on the transformations and stuff like that because the lion guy, whose name always escapes me,
Yes.
yeah, he forced his transformation with like a potion kind of deal, and Full did it naturally. So maybe we'll get some insight into that and what's going on with that, and maybe we'll get another like HUD update from Naofami's side. Because if there's one thing that I'm glad they're continuing to do that's important is showing Naofami's HUD.
Yeah.
One thing that's remained constant and stable and important that they've kept for the series. So, anyway, as always, the reaction is down there in the description and first pinned comment. This intro is always going to be on both videos, so, you know, just be aware of that. There's just in case there are people who watch one or the other. It's dumb to do 2 different intros when they're all about the same thing. So, anyway, let's go ahead, push some buttons, see what's up with this week. We'll get the timer stuff set up. So, here goes something. Well, alrighty then. The situation broke down to the point where everybody had to fight, but Full still did a thing, and I didn't mention it at the end of the reaction because I was saving it for this, but I assume that power Naofami granted him was because he either just looking at that beast shield that we talked about when he was looking at it, it said it had the power of transformation or something like that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it was like beast form.
Yeah, it was like beast form something, and usually he had to like put something into the shield to like absorb it and like analyze it, but maybe he could just scan certain things now or something. I don't know, but that has to have been what that was from because he couldn't do this before. You know what I mean? And they brought attention to that beast shield. So either he absorbed that shield off screen, or just by him like scanning it and like getting the readout, it gave him the power because he's the shield hero.
Yeah, something has to have changed because he didn't have this ability before. So either something changed with his power or something changed with Full's power.
Yeah.
To allow it.
Yeah. So maybe that's something they left out of the anime. We just got done talking about how My Dress Up Darling is following the road path just like verbatim, shot for shot. And for this, I don't know because I haven't read any of the Shield Hero stuff, but that's one of those things where you just kind of look at it and go, you guys remember in season 1 where Naofumi was just taking stuff and, you know, putting it into the gem right there on the shield, and it was like absorbing it and analyzing it, and it was like, you can now make this potion, or you can now use this kind of shield, or whatever it was. You know what I mean? Why did we stop doing that? Would it really be that bad to just animate him just being like, oh, well, here's a new thing, I'm going to stick it in the shield? You know what I mean?
Part of why we kind of moved away from that is he's more or less kind of ran out of things to analyze in this world. That's why there was such a big emphasis when they went to the other world that he was having all this new stuff to analyze.
Yeah, I suppose.
But yeah, like, we should still be having some stuff here and there that he's analyzing. Like
things like that very specialized shield. Maybe he can just scan it like he did, and that's all he needs now. I don't know. It wasn't not. We weren't informed about any change like that in the anime. Maybe in the source material it's mentioned, but I don't know, so I can't speak on that. Either way, that definitely felt like the Beast Shield shenanigan going on. That was the miracle they were all waiting for. So cool. Naofumi's totally God now. It's over. Now he's getting the harem whether he likes it or not. That's who's going with them on the boat. They're going to go back to the village, and the harem's going to be there, and they're going to go with the stuff. Not anybody else. That's how you throw a curveball. Sorry.
But yeah, no, apparently, yeah, so that is the whole thing that the Suzaki guy's been waiting on, is just that the evidence that he is a true shield hero is his ability to invoke the transformation in Beast Folk.
Right. Which, okay. See, there it is. Atla, level 37. Full, level 50. Sedina, 72. Philo, 55. Raftale, 81. Naofumi is 78, and he's still cursed. So, I'm pretty sure Atla was like 38 or 39 when she punched the dragon. Maybe she was 34. I'd have to go back and look at that, but it was 30-something. And I find it hard to believe that she's not in the mid-40s now. So,
yeah,
question marks.
I could have swore both her and Full were level 50 the last time we saw the HUD.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on with that. We have to go. I'll try to go back and check it this week if I have time. But this is something that I can't imagine they'd mess up. But maybe this was just kind of a random holdover, like, you know, UI for Atla. I don't know. But there's no way she should be 37 because they've done an immense amount of training since the dragon incident. Not to mention, when she defeats the dragon, she probably got a ton of XP. So you can't tell me that it was only like 3 levels since then, if it was her being 34, and if she was 37, like 38 or 39, which is what I kind of remember, she should be in like her mid-40s. So
yeah, and Full being significantly higher level than her doesn't really make sense, because she's the one who's been training the most in combat and the one who's the strongest in combat.
Yeah. So I don't know. Is what it is. Again, glad they're still doing the HUD stuff for Naofumi, stuff like that. Glad that's there. But yes, Jarlath, you are a monster. Look at yourself in the mirror, bro. Deal with it. you are like Chimera now. That's what you are. You're gross, and everybody should hate you. But the one thing I guess we can take away from what Jarlath was saying there was whoever put him up to it was intent on killing the shield hero and killing a god to achieve stuff.
Well, whoever put him up for it was just trying to get him to kill the shield hero. But his ideas being, you know, that if he kills the shield hero, he can usurp his position as being like the god of the beast folk.
Right. Because once again, I really need to find that Bender quote now. I have to do it because it just keeps coming up, and we're going to need it, kind of like the Comey, hey mommy, look, a stalker. Can we use that one multiple times now? The Bender quote from Futurama, where he's just like, you know, you can promise me that? I can promise you whatever I want. Same thing with like drugs or whatever. We'll make you a god. Our guarantee, or your money back or whatever. whatever it says. You know what I mean? Maybe not your money back, but it's like, we guarantee it, or we make the promise. It's like, they can promise you whatever you want. If they used like a specific control group or something that, maybe whatever, and if it was like reasonably proven to work in beast folk, let's say, and it did a thing, well, yeah, it turned them into a god for like 30 seconds, and then they exploded, but they're not going to tell you that. They're just telling you what you want to hear. You know what I mean? It will turn you into a god. You know what the side effect is? You explode 25 seconds later. You know what I mean? Or if it's supposed to do a thing, doesn't mean it's going to work for you as intended. You know what I mean? Again, they can promise you whatever they want. It doesn't mean it's going to be exactly what you want. It's kind of like the genie stuff in Ruby, or just like any other kind of genie stuff, where it's like, you better be damn specific with your wish, otherwise you're getting a one-way ticket to Vacuo, and you can't go back into the freaking portal. Then you're screwed. So
yeah, that's why a lot of those freaking drugs have such massive lists of side effects, because you never freaking know what the person's their actual reaction going to be when they take it. You know what you're trying to get it to be, but you never know how it's going to interact with their specific unique system.
Yep. So you hear all those side effects and you go, I can't believe all those things could possibly happen to me. It's like, any to all of those things could happen to you. That's the spooky part. It could be all, it could be some, it could also be nothing. So a lot of people, like, I've talked about this with like just like random stuff with people. It's like, yeah, that's a lot of side effects and you hate to hear it. And yes, maybe all of them could happen to you, maybe like 3 of them, but they have to put it on there because that's the stuff that they've witnessed. You could also end up with something that isn't on the side effect list because everybody's different.
Yeah.
So that's just one of those things to always keep in mind, is like, even if there's like a drug or a medicine or whatever it is that claims to have maybe like 1 or 2 side effects, something like super minor, like, oh, you might get like a minor headache, or you might have like, say, diarrhea or something gross, whatever, but just using that as a general thing. That doesn't mean those are the only 2 things that could potentially happen to you. You could have none of those. You could have something completely different. You know what I mean? I've seen people that like take a medication and the side effects are like 3 things, and instead they like break out in hives or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my biggest example of that was back when I was like 16, because I've always had insomnia like my whole life. When I was like 16, I didn't even remember what it was, but my mom got some, like, she tried a bunch of different sleep meds. Most of them didn't really help, but one of them in particular that got me to just outright stop trying to take sleeping meds made it to where I literally couldn't sleep for 9 days straight.
In case anybody's wondering, that's really, really bad.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, the like Guinness Book of World Records is like 11 days, and that guy like damn near died doing it.
Yeah. So even if it's kind of like a force thing, you definitely want the Crunchyroll player to F off. You don't want to do that. It's the major things for us humans: water, sleep, food, in that order. So it's just one of those things where, again, circling back around to the Shield Hero relevance here, is the fact that the biggest intrigue here is who made the drug.
Yeah, really, that's the biggest takeaway of this whole friggin' look, it's the 2 biggest things from this whole story arc is Cole is matured now, and we're furthering the plot thread of the whole like undead minions thing, and whoever's pulling the strings on that.
Right.
Someone out there is giving weird dark powers to people to try to get the Shield Hero killed, and it's continuing that plot thread.
Yeah. So that is what it is. Maybe we'll get more on that at some point, but again, we did an entire aside here in Siltfelt for this. Okay. You know what I mean? I know they wanted to like bring there are certain series that like brings relevance to certain characters and stuff like that, and I do like the premise of Atla. There's nothing really wrong with Full's character, but a lot of things are like being put on the back burner that shouldn't be for stuff like this, that end up being forgotten. Like I'm a WWE guy, wrestling guy in general, doesn't matter what it is, AEW, New Japan, doesn't matter. But what WWE has a problem with is, and Nick Khan has said this, we don't put anybody on the bench. It's like, Amina's been on the bench for 2 years and she's still been employed. She hasn't been on TV in 2 years. If that's not benched and back burner, I don't know what is. And there are several other wrestlers that do the same thing. You know what I mean? Given she's related to The Rock, so that's kind of like a pass to just get paid to do nothing. Hopefully she's actually doing something, like helping people train or whatever. But it's just one of those things where you end up getting put on the back burner and stuff like that, and then you're forgotten, and then you make your like grand return. It's just like, a lot of the times, unless you're a big time major character in whatever it is, it's just like, oh, we're supposed to care about this again, like a year and a half later. Why? So that's just my concern with stuff like this is
we just
the elongation of stuff like this. If this was like 2 episodes and Full transformed and they did this thing, fine. But 5 episodes for this, that's insane. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we just recently had a big example of that in Bleach with frickin' Ichigo's cousin suddenly becoming relevant.
Yeah.
Frickin' the Fireworks family.
Yeah. Are we supposed? You know, when was the last time we saw them? Oh yeah, when they first freaking infiltrated the Rukon district in like episode 25. We didn't see them for like 200 episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know they're Ishin's family and whatnot, but come on, like not a single peep from any of them. And then it's like, oh, by the way, it's like, oh yeah, they're still there. It's like, I get that we're batch cast, but come on. So there are definitely certain things in this, you know, like Naofumi's village, you know, Malty, the that kind of stuff, the queen. There's plenty of stuff, like the other heroes themselves. We're working off the curse. That's what we're doing. Hey, just don't worry about us. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, not even like a cutaway. You know what I mean? Like a 20-second montage of what they're doing. You know, and again, I don't know if they do how it's handled in the source material, but even if it's just like a freaking vignette of just like 20 seconds to keep the character relevant and in people's minds is important, you know?
Yeah, once again, we're on a sidetrack of a sidetrack of a sidetrack at this point, because what the whole premise of the show is supposed to be defeating the waves, but the waves are paused until we defeat the freaking spirit beasts. But the spirit beasts are refusing to show up at the moment, so we're doing this instead.
Yeah.
Oh, but we can't even get there, so we're doing this instead.
Yeah, it's madness, you know. So I don't really have a huge amount more to say about this. I wanted to check that Atla level thing. I want to punch the ESPN app in the face because their push notifications are driving me nuts. They think some of these things deserve push notifications. It's like, no, it doesn't. Could you please stop? This isn't breaking news or important. Just, you know, I don't, whatever. I'm sure you guys hear the Sports Center sound every once in a while from my background. That's what it is. I'm just getting push notifications. And I don't even have that much stuff. I have like the 4 major leagues and like no, actually it's not even the 4 major leagues. It's the teams I follow. And most of the time they just like, oh, well, since you follow the Dodgers, Lakers, and Rams, clearly you want to hear about this guy in Houston. It's like, no. But anyway, hopefully we're getting out of here. The other thing is, like, it looked like there was some like glimpses into like the people of this area kind of like understanding that the White Tigers were wronged and stuff like that, and now that they've won the duel, or like their honor has been restored, kind of deal.
Well, it's a double thing of like they won the duel against Jarlath, and Jarlath like literally just straight up confessed that he was the one who caused the shit. Not the original shit that got White Tigers friggin' defamed in the first place, but that he was one of the big contributors to it, and so on. So, like, now they at least have a lot higher standing.
Yep. So either way, we got that little visit to the family grave there. We got to see their house and stuff like that. There are some questionable things going on in there, but it is what it is. They mentioned like how this was like Chinese architecture basically, and we did see that in the turtle that there was like ancient Japanese text and stuff like that. So who's to say that this region wasn't in like maybe one of the shield heroes was Chinese, you know what I mean, something like that, or was heavily influenced by Chinese culture and wanted to do like this kind of thing.
From what we know, all the summons of this world have all been Japanese, but Japan is literally neighbors with China, so yeah, who's to say that he wasn't Japanese but spent a bunch of time in China or whatever.
Yeah. So we got a little bit on that because the Japanese stuff and the Chinese stuff especially is generally, from what they've said, is like not native to this world, because you could see the rest of Siltfeld looks Eastern European for the most part, with a little bit of like Arabic in there, you know what I mean, based on their architecture a little bit, like a Central Asian maybe a little bit in there if you look at their architecture, that kind of thing. But
it's more like Middle Eastern.
Yeah. So the White Tiger stuff being what it is, it's probably heavily implied of what's going on there. So the allergies, you guys, it's never ending. But
we do keep seeing examples of like past heroes' influence on the world of friggin' like real world nations, cultures and influences.
Right.
Being added here.
Yep. I will say that the comedic value of this sequence, she opens the doors to no sound. Doesn't make a sound. Makes a bunch of poses in several different outfits, and Naofumi never notices her. And the Raftalia line of the only time she was attractive was when she was wearing like the traditional Japanese garb was hilarious. I gotta give him credit for that. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If you're super into that kind of thing, maybe, yes, Naofumi might be a little vain, but whatever. He's never really looked at Raftalia that way. He's looked at her as a daughter figure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, she's been perpetually fighting the uphill battle of being daughter's owned the whole time. So, like, he doesn't really see her as attractive ever. That was, like, one of the only times that he ever actually, like, even remotely thought about it.
Yeah. So, this Atla sequence was hilarious because she's in the same boat, literally.
Yeah.
So, either way, we ended up with Atla Beifong over here. If you guys don't get the reference, just look at Toph Beifong from Avatar. This is like their freaking family garb. That was heavily Chinese inspired as well. A lot of Chinese coloring is like this right here.
Well, yeah, the Earthbenders in general were very Chinese based.
Yeah. So, either way, it was all right. You know, Full is matured now that he's level 50. I don't know what's going on with Atla's level, but it would make more sense if she matured, and it would make less sense if she had matured and it still said level 37. So,
yeah, from what we know, the whole thing with the demi-humans, which whatever they were talking about initially at the beginning of this season, apparently no, the beast folk are still just demi-humans. It's only like cultural differences. They still follow the same rules as demi-humans. It's just, it's a combination of actual like life experience. It's basically they function like dragons in Dragon Maid, where like their physical appearance represents their life experience, not their actual age.
Yep. Either way, we got a nice little thing with the cooking stuff. That was fun. But as for the rest of it, Did you guys see that? You see that? That's a boat, and we're not getting on it. I'm gonna be super bummed out. And once again, if they don't do a Titanic reference after everything they've shown in the freaking OP, I don't know what we're doing. I'm just saying, it's the lowest common denominator for boat stuff, and it always happens. So if it doesn't happen, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. But anyway, that's all I got for this week. You got anything else, Age?
Yeah, no, really the only things that came out of this were just furthering shady background character who's trying to get Naofumi killed. So we've gotten several examples now. We've seen the undead minions before, and then we also still, presumably it's the same person who gave Bitch the cursed amulet thing that allowed her to enslave the heroes.
Right.
Then yeah, the whole thing full maturing. The only other thing of like any relevance that came out of this is the fact that Silfelt is fully aligned with Naofumi now, because he's proven himself as being a true shield hero.
Right.
In their eyes.
So hopefully get on this damn boat and actually leave next week. Until then, I'll be here. Like that. Till the end. So, ladies and gentlemen, people of YouTube, beyond however you're watching, we always appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with us here in the dojo for more anime night in the dojo. And this was Shield Hero, Season 4, Episode 5. So, have a good morning, evening, afternoon. Whatever it is for you, have a good one. See you next time.
Hey everyone, Victoria here. If you enjoyed the video, please consider pushing those like and subscribe buttons. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thanks again for your time, and we hope to see you again in the future.